Traders like to think they're building wealth the way geniuses build empires, with raw talent, lucky timing, or some secret gift that sets them apart. But here's the uncomfortable truth. That myth, the one we feed ourselves about being special, is exactly why most traders never get past survival. Today, I want to take you somewhere deeper, into a book most of you have either skimmed, quoted, or ignored, Malcolm Gladwell's Outliers. And inside it, there's a wealth principle so obvious, so overlooked, that traders misuse it every single day without even realizing. Now, you've heard about outliers, right? Everyone remembers the 10,000-hour rule. Put in enough time and you'll become great. It's been beaten to death on podcasts, motivational speeches, YouTube videos. But here's what nobody tells you. It's not really about the hours. It's not even about talent. The principle Gladwell was pointing at, the principle almost every trader misuses, is that wealth in any domain, whether it's trading, music, law, or tech, isn't built by talent or raw grind alone. It's built by structured opportunity. That's the wealth principle, and that's what most traders miss. Let me challenge you directly. How many of you are grinding the charts every single day, staying up late, staring at price action, thinking that sheer obsession will one day flip the switch and make you wealthy? Be honest with yourself. You believe your 10,000 hours will pay off if you just keep going. But if those hours are scattered, unstructured, emotionally driven, and reactive, then what exactly are you compounding? Chaos. You're not building mastery. You're rehearsing failure. Gladwell makes this point by looking at people like Bill Gates, the Beatles, top lawyers in New York. Were they talented? Sure. Did they put in time? Absolutely. But more importantly, they were in structures of opportunity that allowed those hours to convert into leverage. Bill Gates had access to one of the only computers in the world at a time when others didn't. The Beatles played marathon sessions in Hamburg, Germany, forcing them into structure, discipline, and diversity of practice. Those lawyers were born in the right year, in the right cultural shift, with access to clients who needed exactly what they specialized in. The wealth principle is this: opportunity, leveraged with structure, beats talent and grind every time. Now, let's translate that into trading. Here's where most of you misuse the lesson. You think your grind is your opportunity. You mistake time in front of charts for structured growth. But wealth in trading doesn't come from raw hours. It comes from your ability to place those hours inside a model, a structure, a framework that compounds intentionally. Think about it this way. If you spend 10,000 hours trading impulsively, over-leveraging, gambling on news spikes, and reacting emotionally to price moves, then congratulations. You've just become world-class at losing money. You're an outlier in the wrong direction, and you'll even be consistent at it because practice makes permanent, not perfect. That's the brutal part of Gladwell's wealth principle. The hours themselves don't guarantee anything. They just magnify whatever structure you put them in. So let me ask you, what structure are you magnifying? Are you training your nervous system to obey a process, or are you training it to panic every time your trade goes red? Are you compounding discipline or compounding impulse? Are you building leverage through intentional opportunity or burning leverage through random chance? Here's a moment where I want you to stop and reflect. Imagine yourself 5 years from now. You've put in the time, you've put in the grind, but nothing has changed. Why? Because you never built the structure that allows the hours to crystallize into wealth. You kept misusing the principle, thinking the grind alone would save you. But the rebels, the traders who actually break free, they flip the script. They take Gladwell's lesson and say, hours are nothing. Structure is everything. Opportunity must be designed, not waited for. And let me take it further. Opportunity isn't luck. The Beatles weren't just lucky to play in Hamburg. They accepted the structure of grueling nightly 6-hour sets. That's not glamorous. That's not luck. That's structure. Bill Gates didn't just stumble onto a computer. He obsessed within the boundaries of an opportunity others ignored. Wealth was built not by wishing, not by predicting, not by grinding blindly, but by shaping environment, identity, and design. So how do you, as a trader, take this wealth principle and stop misusing it? It begins by killing the myth of raw effort. Stop counting hours. Start counting structures. Do you have a model you follow? Do you know why you enter a trade beyond impulse? Do you have risk defined? Are you compounding consistency, not just activity? That's the real wealth principle at play. Gladwell gives us an uncomfortable truth. The greats are not just great because they worked hard. They are great because they placed that work inside leverage-rich environments that transformed effort into inevitability. Traders misuse this lesson by chasing the hours without the environment. You binge-watch the charts without building your system. You log trades without reviewing them structurally. You consume content without converting it into execution. That's misuse. That's why your wealth doesn't build. Let me give you a scenario. Two traders both put in 10,000 hours. One spends it randomly, chasing setups, emotional, inconsistent, reckless. The other spends it within a model, reviewing execution, documenting mistakes, repeating processes until they become reflex. 5 years later, one is broke, and the other has turned trading into a vehicle of consistent wealth. What's the difference? Same hours, different structure. Same effort, different principle applied. You see, rebels understand that the battlefield is not about who grinds the most. It's about who grinds intentionally, who builds structure around the grind, who refuses to misuse the principle of opportunity. And here's where I hit you with the real rebel question. Are you building a structure that compounds into wealth, or are you rehearsing failure until it becomes permanent? Because the truth is, you will become an outlier one way or another. Either you'll be an outlier of inconsistency or an outlier of design. The choice is yours. I want you to wrestle with this. Wealth in trading is not about talent, not about IQ, not about predicting the market. It is about your ability to take the same hours everyone else has and place them into a structure of opportunity. And if you don't, you will misuse the principle the way 90% of traders do and end up wondering why effort doesn't equal wealth. Now, I don't want you just to listen passively. I want you to act. Because every time you hear something like this and don't apply it, you're reinforcing the old pattern. You're giving more weight to chaos. So here's what I want you to do. After this video, take out a notebook and write down one question. What structure am I placing my hours inside? Not how much time do I spend on trading? Not how much do I study? But what structure governs those hours? Because that's where the wealth principle lives. This is what it means to be a rebel in trading, to stop following the myth of grind and start commanding probability through design. You've been misusing the principle from outliers for too long, thinking effort was the answer. Effort without structure is just exhaustion. Effort within structure is inevitable wealth. That's the difference. And listen, if this hit you, if you know deep down you've been rehearsing the wrong hours, then here's what I want you to do. Subscribe to Trading Rebels, because we're going to keep dismantling the lies traders tell themselves and replace them with structure that builds consistency. Drop a comment right now and tell me, are you grinding without structure, or are you finally ready to rebel against that myth? Because the rebels are moving forward, and you don't want to stay stuck in the crowd. This is your opportunity. Not luck, not talent, not hope. Opportunity, leveraged with structure, turned into wealth. Don't misuse the principle any longer. Flip it, own it, rebel with it, and let's see what wealth looks like when it's intentional.